Joining me now, Florida Congresswoman Cammack. She sits on the House Homeland Security Committee. Merry Christmas, Congresswoman. Thanks for carving out the time. You know, in the middle of Biden's raging border crises, Republican Senator Thom Tillis is putting your party's brand on amnesty. How's that grab you?
Well, Merry Christmas to you, too. And let me just be very clear up front. Border security is non-negotiable. And to me, it's like they're saying the quiet part out loud. For 2 years now, we have heard from the Biden administration that there is no crisis, there is no issue at the border. But yet now we have Democrats stepping up and saying, hey, we'll give you border security if you go along with our amnesty plan. To me, that's, like I said, saying the quiet part out loud, admitting that there is a problem, which, of course, we all know is the first step. But the second part of this is that it is non-negotiable. In no world should border security be attached to any deal, because it should be a standalone. I firmly believe most of our bills, if not all, should be standalone bills, single issue bills. And when it comes to national security, that is constitutionally one of the very few things that the federal government is charged with. So from my perspective, this is a dead on arrival piece of legislation. And of course, we've seen in years past where these comprehensive bills, they all may start with the best of intentions, but they end terrible, sad deaths. So from my standpoint,
well,
we will not have any sort of...
let's just hope this lame duck session doesn't provide an opportunity for the Tillises and the Romneys and the McConnells of the world to jam it through before the Republicans take the majority. And by the way, Congresswoman, you have been fantastic on the border and trying to protect Americans, putting Americans first instead of foreign nationals. Not every Republican can say the same. Let me get to a different subject here. Every day we're learning more on how the government allegedly conspired with big tech to deny Americans their constitutionally protected right of free speech in this latest example. The latest drop in Elon Musk's Twitter files exposing the political bias behind Trump's ban of Twitter, but also revealing that government officials participated in the censorship. Now, the Chris Salcedo Show would like to propose a law to hold these violators in government, Congresswoman, accountable. If a person in government partakes in actions that deny Americans their constitutional rights, we suggest the following punishment, we on the Salcedo Show. Number one, an immediate termination from their government position. Number two, a lifetime prohibition on serving in government at any level or in any capacity. And number three, a fine, mandatory jail time, or both. Would you draft and or support such a bill?
Listen, Chris, I support accountability wholeheartedly. And I don't know if you're a Game of Thrones fan, but I like to say, much like winter is coming, accountability is coming. And January 3rd will prove to be a very, very important day, because for the first time in a long time, there will actually be people held accountable for all of the misdeeds from years past. Now, I'm not talking just about like the Hunter Biden stories. I'm talking about Hillary Clinton and her infamous, I accidentally erased 33,000 emails. Nonsense. People need to understand that there are no double set of standards in this country. And that's what the political elites and the liberals on the left have been living by, a completely separate set of standards. So we need to really take steps to investigate and go through that process and make the case that is irrefutable that people like Alejandro Mayorkas, like people who have put up these misinformation boards and disinformation boards, all these things need to be put in place to prevent another situation where we have censorship and suppression of facts. Because what we've seen from Twitter under Jack Dorsey is really this element of we know better than you. And that has been the mantra in Washington. We know better, or we know best. No, you don't. This is a government, we the people, by the people, and for the people. And so we need to get back to that basic premise. And I can tell you that I'll take a look at that proposal that you had right up there on the screen, and we'll follow up with you. I wouldn't dare say circle back. My goodness, Jen Psaki ruined that. But but we need to be very, very, very laser focused in making sure that we're delivering the accountability that the American people deserve.
Well, I'm glad you're going to come back with us on that, because I think it's important. We need, Jack Dorsey aside, we need to have some accountability in government when they usurp their fellow citizens' constitutional rights.